Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the December 6th Board of Trustees meeting. Would everyone please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Will the village clerk please call the roll?
Present.
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 Present, and today we have one appointment authorizing the appointment of Ashley Tuckahoe to police detective effective January 1st, 2022. May I please have a motion?
So moved.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor, and will Ashley Tuckahoe and her grandfather, Joe Tuckahoe, come forward, who happens to be a retired New York City detective. He must be very proud of her. And we will do the swearing in. Yes, I feel like I'm marrying you guys. So Ashley, repeat after me. I, Ashley Tuckahoe, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of police detective according to the best of my ability. Congratulations. Congratulations to you.
All right.
Yay.
We'll give Ashley a moment and her family if they'd like to step out now before we resume the rest of our meeting. Congratulations to all.
Oh, the chief.
Oh, sorry. Chief will say a few words. And Ashley, if she'd like.
You keep trying to cut me
Sorry,
off.
Chief. You know these these novice mayors don't know what they're doing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So thank you, Mayor, members of the board, for this appointment. You know, we've done several appointments over the last few months. Some sergeants, a detective sergeant, and you know how difficult it is when we have three candidates in a room for one position. It is a godsend to this village to have so many dedicated police officers, and to choose one out of three is very difficult. But when we choose a detective, we're usually choosing one out of about 8 or 9 people who are more than qualified for the position. So when we pick a detective, we are picking somebody from a really great pool of candidates, and that one person truly distinguishes herself, in this case, amongst her peers. So it's a great tribute to Ashley for this appointment, particularly being among so many great other candidates. I think a good detective has to have many traits, some of which are just being very persistent and tenacious. You're going to, be led down a lot of paths. So many of them will be dead ends, but you have to find the right path and be persistent to find a way to solve a crime. And I think Ashley has that trait. I think that her biggest skill set are her communication skills. Ashley is a great listener, which is so very important for that position, and a great communicator in that she could speak to people from all different levels in our society. and talk to them the same way with dignity and respect, and that's a great tribute to her. And I really think, Ashley's very soft-spoken, so I think people would be making a huge mistake if they mistake her kindness for weakness, because she is a very strong person. She's going to do very, very well in this position. She's working with two other good detectives, great detectives, leader Detective Sergeant Chris Santiago, Detective Stephen Leone, and quite frankly, she had an opportunity to train with the very best, retiring Detective Andrea Pinto, who's probably amongst the best detectives, not just in Tuckahoe, but in all of Westchester County. So she had that opportunity. She's working some cases already, and she's doing a great job. So congratulations to Ashley and to her family.
Congrats. Would, is there anyone else from the police department that would like to speak before Ashley? If you'd like to, you can. Ashley, come on up.
I'd like to say thank you to Chief Costanzo, Mayor Andino, and the rest of the village board. I'd also like to thank my family and everyone here who's supporting me. I'm grateful and honored to be given this opportunity to start a new chapter in my career. I look forward to continue learning and growing within this new position, and will continue to serve this department and the community to the best of my ability. Also, I'd like to say congratulations to Detective Pinto on her upcoming retirement. I'm so appreciative that I've had the opportunity to work and train with her over the last few months. She's someone that I personally look up to and has always been a source of inspiration for me. I know I speak for everyone back here that we're going to miss her so much. So thank you, Dee, for everything, and thank you, everybody.
Nice. If there's anybody on the board who would like to offer some congratulations to Ashley.
I would just like to say congratulations, Ashley. I was just remarking to the mayor how many times I see you as I'm walking around, and it's always great to see your smile and to know that you're out there in the community, and we're very proud of you.
Anyone else?
Yes, we're very fortunate to have you, Ashley. The entire Tuckahoe family, we're very fortunate. Tuckahoe is very fortunate to have all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Ashley, and if the chief gives you his stamp of approval, we know it's good.
Congratulations, Detective Tuckahoe. After Hurricane Ida, I happened to be out in the Armour Villa area, and I was watching Officer Tuckahoe at the time, helping some residents, and like her dedication just shines. Like it shows through in everything that she does. So we're very lucky to have you in this position.
Congratulations, Ashley. I also, in hearing the chief say that you're a quiet spirit, but you are not to be taken for granted, I sort of see that you're a bit of a quiet storm. So don't sleep on Detective Tuckahoe. Congratulations. So if the family would like to take her out to eat now, we have a lot of great restaurants. Take care.
Bye. Good night.
As everyone, the family is clearing out, we have a presentation, two presentations today. Oh, that. So we have two presentations today. The first one by the Tuckahoe cheerleaders who have a banner request. Is there a representative here for the Tuckahoe cheerleaders banner request? Thought I saw someone. Okay. She didn't come? The presentation for the Tuckahoe cheerleaders banner request. Okay. Okay, so then we can go ahead and start with the auditor's report. Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Anthony, can you close the door? Thank you. Yes.
Mayor, Mayor, members of the Board of Trustees. My name is Jeff Shaver, partner with PKF O'Connor Davies. Happy to present to you the results of the audit for the fiscal year ended May 31st, 2021 for the Village of Tuckahoe. I'm just going to take you through some of the highlights in the audited financial statements. It's a some 70, 80-page book, so I'm not going to go through every page. I know you have other things on the agenda, so I'll just hit a few highlights and then open it up to any questions that the trustees may have. The first page after the table of contents is what's known as the independent auditor's report, and this is the only these are the only pages in the book that are the ownership of the auditors. The rest of it is the village's financial statements. And in the auditor's report, we talk about the report on the financial statements. We talk a little bit about management's responsibility for the financial statements, and also our responsibility, which is to audit those financial statements. And we state that we believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our audit opinions. We continue on with the actual opinion, which says the financial statements present fairly in all material respects. The financial position of the village as of May 31st, 2021, and their respective changes in financial position in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. This is what we refer to as an unmodified opinion. It's also referred to as a clean opinion, and that's the most favorable opinion that you can receive. What that means is the numbers in the book, the numbers that I'm going to present to you, are fairly stated, and the disclosures are complete and they're accurate, and there's nothing that we know of that's missing from the book. With that, I'll dig right into the general fund. If you're following along with me on the book, it's pages 51 and 52. This is the general fund schedule of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. You can see when the budget was initially adopted, it was anticipated 13.2 million of revenues were to be collected. Actual revenues for the year were 12,952,000. So you collected less than was anticipated by 241,000. There's some contributing factors in there. You'll see in the non-property tax line, you actually collected more than your budget by approximately 300,000. The sales tax really came back, and the distributions from the county were much greater than anyone truly had anticipated, over a year ago. So that was a positive variance of 300,000. There's a negative variance on the departmental income line, mostly the parking fees in the village, as the commuters have not been going back to work as quickly as we would have liked them. So that's a negative variance in that category of about 650,000. You'll see licenses and permits. That's your building permits. That's the police overtime reimbursements, greater than the budget by 280,000. And finally, fines and forfeitures. That's the money coming in from your justice court, less than the budget by 200,000. Even when the justice court opened back up, they weren't quite operating the way they had been pre-pandemic. So not only in Tuckahoe, but in all the villages and towns that we audit, we're seeing those numbers aren't quite what they were prior to the pandemic. All said and done, you came short of the budget by 241,000, which considering a year ago the situation that it looked like we were in, I think is actually great news. So it is a negative variance, but I don't think you should take it as a bad thing. I think you should take it as a good thing. Alternatively, on the expenditure side of the budget, you underspent the budget as you typically do. You've always managed the budget quite tightly, which is very good. So you never, have huge expenditure variances compared to your budget either way. But you underspent the budget by $212,000, and you were able to do so without taking from fund balance during the year or amending the budget in any way. So, while many things were happening during the pandemic, you were able to tighten your belts and come in less than the budget. So again, positive news. So the revenue shortfalls and the expenditure surplus, they kind of net each other out, so to speak. And the actual change in fund balance was a positive $14,000. It's a small number, but it's a positive number, and I think everyone should be extremely happy considering you know, I think I was standing here last year and we were discussing some potentially much worse numbers. So, small surplus, definitely great news. So the general fund balance started the year at 2.3 million, and you're ending the year at 2,318,000. All of that money is what we refer to as unassigned fund balance. So it's not earmarked, it's not in any reserves, it's not set aside for any specific purpose. It's available for use at the discretion of the board. That's about 17.5% of your budget. It's a healthy fund balance. It's a nice level to be at. It allows you some cash flow cushion and flexibility as you adopt budgets going forward. So certainly positive news in the general fund. I just wanted to take you through briefly the debt of the village. There was debt issued during the year, $3,160,000 of debt was issued. Also, a premium came associated with that of $251,000. A premium is monies the village receives in addition to the par amount of the bonds, because you're paying a higher interest rate over the long term, but you get the premium up front. It essentially offsets those higher interest costs. And usually it's done as a marketing mechanism by your underwriters. So the total debt outstanding as of May 31st, 2021, $8,415,000, and that includes the $3,160,000 I just mentioned. And the debt service load on those bonds starting in 2022 will be approximately $950,000. So roughly 7% of your budget is going towards those debt service costs, which is manageable. It's certainly not not high in any way. So you're at a comfortable debt load as you as you move forward. With that said, the only other things I wanted to mention, the other funds. There's a capital projects fund where the bonds essentially would be recorded and the money would be spent out of there. Most of those bond funds remain unspent at the end of the year, so there's $4 million that was left over as of May 31st, 2021. The projects are all earmarked, they just had not been spent as of May 31st. And you also have a library fund, which has a fund balance. They actually generated a small surplus in the library. About $67,000 is the total fund balance. And you have a special purpose fund where you have parkland, deposits, library trust, and some police fees that are used for specific purposes set aside, and that stands at about $225,000. So with that said, those are kind of the main highlights of the audit. Certainly, I think all positive news. Thank you to David and your treasurer, Ryan. They do a really good job with the books. It's a smooth process. We're here with a team of 4. In October, we came, personally, we were here live, so we were able to do that, which we appreciate. And, everything is very, very smooth, and it's a fairly well-run operation. So thanks to management for, keeping up the good work, because there is a lot of work that goes not only keeping up the books, but also dealing with us as auditors. We're poking and prodding and asking a lot of questions. So with that said, I'd like to open it up to any questions you had on what I spoke about, or anything else in the audit, or anything you might have for me.
Does anybody on the board have any questions?
Nope. Just like to say thank you for good news.
I do have one question. The 17% you said in the fund balance, how do we compare to other municipalities of a similar size, I guess?
We typically see between 10 and 20%. So I'd say you're right in where you're supposed to be, kind of what we typically see. If you're under that 10%, you risk being called in fiscally, distressed, so to speak. And I don't think the village of Tuckahoe is not in that situation. Most of the communities in this area are not in that situation also. So you're in good company with other municipalities that have, a strong fund balance. So I would say you're in the average, maybe a little bit above, just off the top of my head.
Okay.
Like a B student?
B plus,
Like an
A minus.
yeah, A minus.
So, yeah, and maybe you could tell us what the recommended fund balance is for a municipality to carry.
There is no set level. There
No.
is no number I could tell you the recommended is X or Y.
You're just saying it shouldn't be under 10%.
10,
Or you know.
And that's
common
low.
benchmark to use is 10%, and the state controller kind of uses that as their threshold where they start telling you you're in fiscal stress. So that's why 10% is kind of like a floor. I would think. And the rating agencies talk about 10 to 20%. So I think while there isn't a specific number I can give you, I think you're somewhere in the 10 to 20%. It also depends on your revenue streams and how what kind of drains
Right.
on your fund balance there might be, what kind of cash flow drains there might be, what kind of emergencies could arise. So each municipality is a little different in how that plays out.
So
Thank you.
when you say the rating agencies for the people out here, you mean the bond rating, like the credit rating agencies, correct? So it impacts our ability to borrow money.
Yes, so they would assign a credit rating to the village when you go out. They actually, I looked it up today, they assigned you A1, which is a good credit rating, am I right?
Mhm.
A1 from Moody's,
Yeah.
which is a good rating. And if your fund balance starts to, it's not just fund balance because they look at ratings in the community, commercial bases, and they look at the community at large, which the trustees can't, impact directly, but they also clearly look at, how much fund balance you have. If you're falling, if you're falling low, they're gonna take marks off for sure.
Thank you very much. And
Thank
I
you.
also want to thank David and Ryan for just all year long working so diligently, especially during COVID, to make sure that we maintained a healthy fund balance. Even if we felt a little desperate and wanted to take some out. He's like, no, let's just hold off. So he held us back a bit. But David, if there's anything you'd like to add.
First, I just want to say thank you, Jeff, for coming in and doing this report. His team does come in October, and they come in, they sit with Ryan, they sit with Debbie, they go through all this stuff, and they're very professional, and it's really good that they're in here where we can talk about all the issues. And it's not just that they come in here once a year. We call Jeff on a monthly basis, asking him just questions to ensure that we're doing things correctly and just trying to get his opinion on things. So I do appreciate you coming in here. But I think it's really important to notice that this budget was developed in March of 2020. I mean, we sat in that, if you remember, those who were on the board, we sat in that community center and we didn't know, no one knew what the world was going to look like in the next 12, 18, certain number of months. This budget reflected what we thought was best at that time, and I have to give credit to the department heads, everybody in this village that kind of kept a really tight belt on their departments. When you look at the parking revenue and the lost fine revenue, it is a significant amount of money. Nothing that was completely out of our control. I mean, that was just stuff that we were never going to be able to kind of deal with, but we did by tightening our belt, and really each department did that. The bigger departments really kind of, held the line where they needed to. So I just want to give a thank you to Ryan and his team over there and each of the department heads who really kind of get nitty gritty into this budget.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the other presentation that we had was from the cheerleaders, but I don't see them here. I guess I'll just give a summary. I'll just give a summary of our discussion. I was contacted by Fran Kassan, who works with the cheerleaders in Tuckahoe High School, and they are raising money for the girls to go, I think it's to Orlando. And so they were looking for the village to support them in that effort. And what they'd like to do is contact the businesses, get the businesses to donate, and they would have a sponsor banner that would go up sometime in January for a week or two. And the girls were just going to come and talk to the board about it and ask for the board to support them in that effort. And she probably couldn't make it. She may be here a little later. So we'll just move on, and if she doesn't come, then at least everyone in the community understands what their request is. We do still have a public hearing open to consider establishing a model landmark preservation local law, and that will remain open until January. Probably we will close and vote on it in January. If there's anyone here that would like to speak and offer their input on that model landmark law, you may do so now. Okay. We will keep it open until next month. The next, we have to adopt the minutes. So approval of the minutes of the November 8th, 2021 meeting. May I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, and we have the first opportunity to address the board on any agenda items. If there's anyone on that would like to address the board on any agenda items, you may do so now. Okay, no one? All right, so that'll take us to resolutions. So we have the first resolution authorizing free short-term parking in the business districts of the village to encourage local shopping during the holidays on all Saturdays of December and the week December 20th through the 25th. May I have a motion approving that resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. The second resolution authorizing the execution of the shared service IMA with 13 Westchester communities for a grant submittal to the New York State DEC for a recycling app. And I will ask our superintendent to speak about that when you do your report. Frank, if you could, on the recycling app. Not now, when you do your report. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Anyone?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And we have in resolution number 3, authorizing the adoption of the 2022 Westchester County, New York Hazard Mitigation Plan Update, which is done every 5 years, and remind us again all of the, well, not all, because I know there's a lot, of some of the things that are included in that mitigation plan. Again, David is like, I have to look that up. That's a lot.
I have looked at it. No, I'm glad to.
I know there was like a disease outbreak and a whole bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
so just so everyone is aware, this is a plan that is updated every 5 years, and why it says new adoption of the Westchester County is that each of the municipalities in Westchester County actually, it's a shared services where Westchester County is the lead agency on developing this. So if anyone is interested, you can go to the county's website, and the county has a whole bunch of different sections, but the Village of Tuckahoe has a specific annex, which is around 50 pages, that goes through everything. It talks about our community, and then it talks about hazards such as disease outbreak and earthquakes and extreme temperature and floods and severe storms and wildfires. And it just goes through our community to figure out how we would prepare for that, what are projects that we could be looking to do in the future, what are our vulnerable areas, where are our shelters, where are, I was going to say escape routes, but I don't think that's the terminology. Where are our evacuation routes, not escape routes. So it does
We
have a
may
lot
need
of
some
information and
escape
has a couple of projects that we may want to look forward in the future to actually, to apply for some grants. So it's actually, it's 40 pages, but there's a lot of charts and diagrams and things like that. So if anyone's interested in looking at that, but that's basically what's
Okay.
in that plan.
So may I have a motion? Did we already approve that? I think we need a motion. We did? Okay. See that? And the final, okay.
So moved.
So moved, yeah.
Mhm.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And the final resolution is to pay the bills, authorizing the approval of vouchers in the amount of $2,576,436.96. And it's a little higher because we had pension payouts and paving this month. So may I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or anyone opposed? Okay, so let's move to departmental reports. And since Our DPW superintendent is here. Why don't we start with you, Frank?
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Members of the board.
Good evening.
I first and foremost want to congratulate Ashley in fulfilling her new endeavors. I've worked with her in the past, and she's a boots on the ground type of girl. She really is. I'd love to have her in my department. You know, I'm trying. I'm trying here. But I really have nothing to report, but I know you just dragged me back in and you wanted to know about the Recollect. Okay, the Recollect app, we've had that for approximately 2 years now.
Right.
And to locate that Recollect app is on our homepage, to the left, at the left side of our homepage. And what that is, it's a recycling collection app. It really talks about everything and anything about recycling, things that aren't recyclable, things that are dangerous and hazardous, and it talks about anything and everything. So it's also a recyclopedia, which kind of identifies everything that gets thrown out, anything that's recyclable, and anything that you might want to know about or educate yourself a little bit more about. We work with Recollect every year in organizing our calendar. And again, once you go on to Recollect, you could download that app onto your cell phone, so it also notifies you when you need to put out recycling, what recycling day might be, or garbage day might be, or metal pickup day might be. It's an educational app, but it's also a notification app for those of us that are always busy and working all day long. We get home, we forget to put out the garbage, recycling, and you know, it happens all the time that everybody puts it out at 8, 9, 10 o'clock. We've already been by their home. So it helps us as well. So I suggest that everybody go on, download the app. It's a great app. I have it, and it's notifying me all the time because I'm always forgetting as well.
Yeah.
But with that said, I don't have a report. Anybody have any
Fine.
questions for me?
Nope. Thank you.
I
just
actually
want
have
to wish everybody.
one question. I'm sorry, Frank.
Mhm.
I noticed that a lot of the trees have no leaves on them. Do we have the trucks still going around another week or so? How much longer do you guys have the leaf pickup?
That question.
How long? Oh, okay. Sorry.
We've already extended it a week as of today.
Oh, you did. Okay.
It's over with the 1st. I don't want to tell people to continue putting it out because we can't continue to pick it up.
Right.
So I suggest moving forward that everybody bags their leaves. The leaves that are out right now, we're going to continue collecting, and you know, again, we're probably in the middle of the village somewhere, and we're just going to continue cleaning these piles until we're done at the end of our loop. So I suggest that people please do not start piling leaves again. And the only collection that we're not having this year, so far, moving forward, is the vacuum collection. People can store their leaves in bags or barrels, anything that'll allow them to contain it and allow us to throw it in our trucks.
Yeah, there's not much left, so.
No, there really isn't. It was late in the season. I mean, the leaves fell kind of late this year because of all the rain we've had.
Okay, great. Thank you, Frank.
Okay? Everybody have a great,
Thanks,
happy,
Frank.
and healthy holiday.
You too.
Thank you.
Take care.
So I don't see anyone here from the police department. They're all celebrating. Do you have anything? Do we have Swedish on Zoom, the library? Okay. She can give her report now.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor and Gino,
We need a mic
Board
there.
of Trustees, and everybody else. I want to share a great news with all of you. The library received $4,950 from the Emergency Connectivity Fund to pay for 15 additional hotspots, including internet service through T-Mobile. These hotspots will enlarge our lending capacity and provide patrons who have limited or no access to Wi-Fi. A big credit goes to Elaine Provenzano, who worked very hard to secure this grant. Some of the upcoming programs I want to mention. Tomorrow we have our local Dr. Aarti Kapoor. She's going to talk about vaccine for children. It's going to be on Zoom at 5:30 p.m. And we also have a great program for children's Kids Craft Gingerbread House picture frame. It's in the library December 7th at 4 p.m. Holiday Stories and Song with Mayor Endino in person, Tuesday, December 14 at 11 a.m. And Harry Potter Book Club cooking demo for grade 4 to 8 in person, Tuesday, December 14 at 4 p.m. And we have recurring children's story time, baby time on Tuesdays at 11, December 7th and 14th, and also for older kids ages 2 to 5 at 11 a.m., December 3rd and 10th. We also have a sing-along with Miss Elaine for ages 0 to 6 on Monday, December 13th at 11:30 a.m. in the library. Also, children's yoga in the library on Wednesday, December 8th at 11 a.m. and children ages 6 to 10 on Wednesday, December 8th at 4 p.m. And we have kids art class with Mike Teeter, ages 7 to 10, Wednesday, December 15th at 4:30 p.m. And we also have in-person wreath making class on Tuesday, December 13 at 4 p.m. for teens and tweens ages 9 and up. And tomorrow we have memoir writing class, which is going to be on Zoom Tuesday, December 7th at 1 p.m. We have virtual holiday books and tea, Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott, Wednesday, December 8th at 6:30 p.m. And online holiday cooking with Mayor Andino and Senator Meyer on Wednesday, December 15 at 6 p.m. Also, the last healthy meal planning, understanding nutrition, fact labels, Thursday, December 16 at 3 p.m. And we have a recurring programs, meditation on every Wednesday at 12 p.m. and chair yoga on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. and Tai Chi's on December 7th and 21st, Tuesday at 9 a.m. Thank you. If you have any question, please give us a call, and if you please visit our website and sign up for all these upcoming events.
Thank you, Swadish.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Our village clerk, Camille, do you have anything?
Since December 31st, since Mayor's Day lands on a Saturday, we're celebrating it on the Friday. Taxes are usually due that day, but since the village is closed because it's an observance of a federal holiday, taxes are able to come in on the 3rd without penalty.
Okay, that's good news. Village attorney, Gary, anything? David, okay. That'll, next village board meeting will be held on January 10th at 7 p.m., so make note of that. And that'll take us to Board of Trustee reports. Trustee Lang?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Next, congratulations to Detective Ashley and her family. So I would like to thank every one of you who stood up for our young people and helped pass last month's very important resolution. Truly, thank you very much. Thank you. Next, I would like to thank the Tuckahoe PD for their help with the congestion in Depot Square. It's been so much better as of late, so thank you to the Tuckahoe PD and Lieutenant Rhoda for all of his help. Okay, I have our Tuckahoe History Committee report. We would like to congratulate History Committee member Arlene Gruber on her recent induction into the Westchester County Senior Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Arlene. Over 30 people attended Nick Zanzano's second Zoom presentation, Tuckahoe Before and After, at the Tuckahoe Library, Wednesday, November 10th at 6:30 p.m. YouTube video links can be accessed from the Tuckahoe Library website and will be shown on local cable. Next, we recently received a donation of original lighting rescued from the 1980 renovation to the current Village Hall. I'm sorry, one second. Okay, oh, I understand, I see. So they salvaged some lighting from a 1980 renovation, I understand, to the current Village Hall. The lighting fixtures can hopefully be cleaned and restored for use within the building. Oh, that'd be wonderful. Their Facebook page, they put 10 Facebook posts in November, 9 of which were on the theme of local veterans. and it had reached over 5,000 people, hits. I'm not so sure about the whole online lingo. I'm not one of those social media people. Okay, that's the history report. And if you would like to share your history or have any questions, please email us at tuckahoehistory@gmail.com. Next is beautification. I would like to remind the residents beautification is hard at work with all their wreaths and bows for the holidays. Needless to say, we all know that they could use our help. So for those who are able, please make donations payable to TBA P.O. Box 142, Tuckahoe, New York. If you guys just drive around, you can see all the wonderful work the beautification has done. And if you had a chance to get down to the train station, it's just beautiful, folks. You need to get there. Beautification wishes everyone a happy holiday. Okay. Next, I wanted to thank all of the vendors, the entertainment, and most of all Santa for joining us in another wonderful Winterfest here in Tuckahoe. Special thanks to John Galuzzi and our DPW. Thank you. Also, I wanted to remind everyone to get out and vote on December 14th for Eastchester Fire Commissioner. One side note, I was wondering, Mayor, if we can get together with our school board. If I'm not mistaken, our meetings are on the same night.
Yeah, so we have had discussions
Yeah.
about that with them.
And lately, everybody kind of wants to get to both meetings.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Mayor. Yeah, so we can look into that. That'd be great. So happy holidays to all, and thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Deputy Mayor?
Yes, the next zoning board meeting is scheduled for December 8th. That'll be held in person and on Zoom. On the agenda will be some returning items of particular interest is the property at 377 Marbledale, which is continuing, and a new variance request to enlarge driveway on 41 Armour Villa. The next planning board meeting is December 21st. The working meeting will be this week on the 7th. That'll be held, those meetings by Zoom only. Also, we have some returning agenda items there. The most exciting one, I think anyway, is for the site plan for the restaurant at 151 Marbledale. And unfortunately, we will be losing another member of the zoning board, David Scalzo, as he's moving out of state. David is another person, similar to John Palladino, who has done a number of years of service, and in particular, the zoning board of the last couple of years has been really just an amazing group, doing a really great job. So we're going to miss him. And as always, if anyone's interested in being on the zoning board, we have had some people apply, so thank you for that. But we always are entertaining applications. So please send them to me over the village website. I also wanted to thank John Galuzzi for a great Winterfest. You know, this gets better every year. And it was particularly wonderful this year because it coincided with one of the nights of Hanukkah. So we got to do all of that, from noon all the way till 8 o'clock at night. So that was a lot of fun. Just a few updates on the Eastchester schools. The Board of Ed meeting will be on December 14th at 7:30 in the school library and will also be live streamed. There's a series of wonderful holiday concerts that are starting this week, and all that information is available on the district calendar. The district also has several positions that they're looking to fill, and these are also available on the district website, and they really are covering a wide area: custodial, clerical, bus monitors, administrative positions. So if you're looking for a short commute, you might want to check them out. I also wanted to give a shout out to the Tuckahoe cross country team. This is the first year Tuckahoe has had a cross country team, and their first year coach, Marissa Frusciante, brought the entire team to the state finals. So it was really an impressive inaugural year, and I just wanted to congratulate them.
Wow.
Yeah, including Owen Gertzen, who's a member of that team. Wanted to remind everybody we will be holding the second shot for the Pfizer vaccination for the kids from 5 to 11 this Thursday at the community center from 6:30 to 8. We sent out a notice to everybody to sign up for some timing to make it go smoothly, and wanted to thank Troop 19 for giving us the ability to move them around a little bit so that we could hold that in the community center. Last month, we were able to, I think it was last month, yes, it was. We actually vaccinated 97 kids, gotten their first shot. So that's really the last population that we need to get vaccinated for this. So it was a great turnout, and I wanted to thank the community for that. The parents, the kids were just amazing, and it actually turned out to be a lot of fun. So thank you for that. On a side note, I wanted to report on the passing of a Tuckahoe resident and Eastchester School science teacher, Christian Goricki. Christian was a really devoted science teacher and so engaging and always proud of his students. He taught a very special course at the high school called the Advanced Science Research class, where students in high school would sign up for 3 years. They would work independently with a scientist from anywhere in the United States, a lot from the city and local universities. And they would conduct independent research for 3 years and then present it as part of their senior year project. And I have seen the efforts and the fruits that have come from the labor of this particular course through my own daughter, and I have to say it's amazing. These kids will present at the Regeneron Science Fair as well as the Westchester County Fair, and they really do some very high quality work. And somehow, Christian was able to get students to make this 3-year commitment and see them grow in their self-confidence and their scientific skills. So he will be greatly missed. Christian is survived by his wife and 3 children, and our hearts go out to them. And their friends have established a fund for the college for his children. And if you're interested, you can find out more on my trustee Facebook page, or please feel free to contact me through the village website, and I'd be happy to share this information. Yeah. On a happier note, I wanted to congratulate Josh Gascioni, who was inducted into the Veterans Hall of Fame, representing the 37th Senate District in New York. That's from Senator Mayer. And of course, Tuckahoe. Josh was a sergeant in the U.S. Army who served in both Iraq and Afghanistan, and he is now director of student service support services at Westchester County, helping guide veterans on pursuing education. He's also working on his PhD and is in history, and is serving on our historical preservation committee. So I wanted to thank him for his service to our country and to our community. He was also part of a lovely ceremony that was held at the Parkway Oval by the veterans in November. And speaking about veterans, we've received a lot of questions on the board about the Hometown Heroes program, so I wanted to speak to that very briefly. So a lot of decisions went into determining, who outside of the veterans would be honored as heroes. And as I understand it, this program run by the Girl Scout troop, and also with under a lot of guidance of a veteran, Vito Pinto, was very involved in considering the unique circumstance that we've had over the past nearly 2 years now, being in a global pandemic. And the Scouts wanted to really recognize those people in our village who had stepped up in this unique circumstance and acted as heroes. I think one piece of data that always is, I find staggering, is that we have lost over 700,000 Americans in the COVID pandemic. That is more death than we have seen in any individual war that this country has been in, whether it's been internal or external. And it was a time when, if you can remember, at the beginning of the pandemic, we had grocery clerks who were, trying to do their job and risk their lives and died because of COVID. So it was a time when a job where no one ever expected to take on the risk, teachers, bus drivers, police, even more risk than they're used to taking, found themselves fighting in a unique set of circumstances. And so, because the residents of our community are so giving, they extended this program to recognize those heroes. I haven't spoken to all of the veterans, but of the ones I did, again, they're a unique, kind, compassionate community, and I haven't heard any concerns of the veterans of sharing this particular honor for this year with those people who were fighting COVID. So I wanted to, again, thank the community for being so supportive and so caring and being able to recognize the many people in our village under this program. And on that note, I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful holiday season. Please stay safe and warm, and we'll be back in January 2022. And we'll probably, one of the first things we'll want to discuss is what's in store in the New York legislature that might affect us. So.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Taylor?
Thank you, Mayor. The Eastchester Community Action Partnership. ECAP has a weekly peer group for seniors every Tuesday at 11 a.m. The Tuckahoe School District, in working with the Books and Beyond After School program, sends 2 teachers 3 days a week to tutor the children who need help in their homework. In the calendar year of 2021, ECAP, through their food pantry, has distributed over 4,440 bags of foods to families in need, which has been increasing due to COVID. On behalf of ECAP and the Director, Denise Chin, I would like to say thank you to everyone who contributed to the ECAP food pantry throughout the year, especially this past Thanksgiving. Because of your charitable food and financial donations, and also all of the volunteers, ECAP was able to provide 175 baskets of love to the families in need for Thanksgiving. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the Ridgeway Food Pantry and Jeff Myers for their donation of 52 turkeys at a time when it wasn't easy to find turkeys this year. The Tuckahoe Community Center. There will be a Kwanzaa celebration sponsored by the Juneteenth Committee on Sunday, December 26th at the Tuckahoe Community Center. There will be guest speakers and light refreshments. I would like to say thank you to John Galuzzi for putting together the Winterfest celebration this past weekend, also the DBW. Between the vendors, the caroling, Santa Claus arriving on a fire truck, the kids were so excited and happy to see him, the tree lighting, and then ending with the Hanukkah celebration and the menorah lighting. It was truly a great event. Adrian Harper and the Bundles of Joy will be donating I call it the Bags of Joy. It's diapers, lotion, shampoo, and basically things that families can use with children 5 and under. I will be assisting her in this event. We're trying to have it next week. We are currently working on getting the dates together, but I will post it on my Facebook page, and we are hoping that it will be should be one day next week. I'd just like to say happy holidays to all of our residents here in the village. May it be prosperous, blessed, and filled with joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Cronin?
Hello, everybody. Good evening. From the Tuckahoe Schools, this week the Tuckahoe Schools will be going back to their traditional bell schedule. So if you recall, last year they moved to block scheduling in order to help mitigate COVID and the need for quarantining. But assuming that the vote goes well this evening, they are having their board meeting tonight. They will be going back to their traditional schedule, and there's more information on the district website. On Wednesday, there are 2 great webinars this week hosted by the Tuckahoe PTA. On Wednesday, December 8th at 7:30, the PTA will be hosting a webinar entitled Nurturing Resilience, Courage, and Independence in an Age of Adolescent Anxiety, hosted by Dr. Daniel Villiers. And this should be particularly helpful as many of our young people are dealing with anxiety and mental health issues, especially during and after COVID. And bravo to the Tuckahoe PTA for taking this on. It's very, very needed. On Thursday, December 9th at 7:30, the Tuckahoe Schools and the PTA are hosting another webinar about trade-oriented jobs, and professionals from several different fields will be presenting there. So you can check that out. Both of those are posted on the landing page. A reminder, Oh, and congratulations to Fabien Duchateau, who has been chosen to participate in the New York State All-Star Orchestra this past weekend in Rochester. Cottle Troop 2642 is still collecting plastic bottle caps in order to, and when I say plastic bottle caps, it can be any bottle cap that is clean and made out of plastic. They are doing this. They will be collecting up to 400 pounds of these plastics in order to recycle them and turn them into benches. The Tuckahoe seniors held their annual costume jewelry sale last week, which was very successful. They had some beautiful pieces that I couldn't help but go and buy myself. I want to thank all the members who worked very hard and diligently on this, and all the residents who donated costume jewelry. This is the seniors' biggest fundraiser, and they raised about $300 this year. So that was that's actually one of their highest revenue streams. So thank you to everybody who helped out with that. The Tuckahoe seniors held their Thanksgiving lunch in person for the first time since COVID on November 23rd. There was music and dancing and a lot of fun. It was nice being together. They will hold their December holiday lunch next Thursday, December 16th from 12 to 2. Please reach out to Jennifer and Vetramile if you wish to participate. Just a word as we move into the holiday season, to support local businesses by buying local. This really helps our schools, and this is very important. Buying local keeps our payroll taxes local, and this local spending sustains and boosts local employment. So that's really important for us. And most importantly, because the local businesses, they do such a great job about donating. Every time we reach out and ask them to, buy boosters or buy banners, they are always, or participate in events, they are always more than willing to help out and donate. And so please go out and support them during the holiday season. That's very important to them. Last month, I made a report that I had listed in my written report all the residents who had helped with the Halloween event, and then forgot to mention them. And I cannot let good work go unpraised. So, very quickly, I would like to thank Adrienne Michelle, Marilyn Graham, Jenny Steenhagen, Ines Castellanos, Stephanie Palmer, Chanel Moore, Dean Richmond, and Alicia Campos for all the help that you put forth to make this a great event. So thank you. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season. Thanks.
Thank you, Trustee. And while you're talking about small business, if you have not tried Odo, new restaurant on Main Street, I recommend you do. I had a small event there, and the food was phenomenal. Just a great, great addition to the many wonderful restaurants that we do have in Tuckahoe already. Last month, we talked a little bit about the flood mitigation efforts that we are making. There is a meeting on Wednesday with our DPW, our village administrator, and the county to talk about flood mitigation in Tuckahoe and how the county can help us. And then I think we've also been contacted by our congressman to reach out also to ask how they can help. We need some financial assistance so that we can deal with the flooding issues that we've had throughout the years that seems to be getting worse each time we have a flood. I also wanted to say thank you to John Galuzzi, who's not here, for the Winterfest. I mean, he puts his heart and soul into that, and you can tell when you're there, the kids and the residents, and we had people that came from outside of Tuckahoe who really enjoyed it. So thank you to everyone for that. I also want to make note, as Trustee Lang mentioned, that we do have an election on December 14th. We do have both candidates happen to be here for the fire commissioner election. And if you both would like to say a few words to the residents, you can now. Anthony Laurie and our second candidate that's running for fire commissioner, whose name has escaped me, Jesse Slater. So if you'd like to say a few words, you can now, before we open up the public to speak. And I would just ask that you keep it short.
Good evening. Sorry, wrote this down. Trustee Lang, Trustee Howell, Mayor Andino. Oh, sorry. Trustee Taylor and Trustee Cronin, good evening.
Evening.
My name is Jessie Slater. I live at 21 Wallace Street. I'm a candidate for the upcoming election for fire commissioner, which is taking place on December 14th. I urge residents to get out and vote in this election, which doesn't get as much attention as it should. I cannot stress enough how important it is for folks to vote in the local elections. The role of fire commissioner is to represent residents in a fiduciary capacity. The Eastchester Fire Department runs on a $19 million budget. My business experience includes over 10 years of budget management. And my education, which includes an MBA, certainly supports that experience. I am confident that I have what it takes to represent our taxpayers and undertake the fiduciary responsibility required of a fire commissioner. I care deeply about this community. I'm raising my 2 children here. My son is here with me tonight. It's actually his 10th birthday, so happy birthday, Coda. My daughter's 2 years old. And it bears mentioning that there has never been a woman elected fire commissioner in Eastchester. And I am not asking anybody to vote for me simply because I am a woman. But I am qualified and I am capable, and I offer a perspective that has not been offered on the Board of Commissioners for 150 years. Tuckahoe has shown that it's ready to give women a voice in the community that they have done so much to grow and to support. So I'm proud to call Tuckahoe my home, and I'm ready to represent it, as well as Bronxville and Eastchester on the Board of Fire Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board.
Good evening.
Mrs. Slater also, good evening. Nice to meet you. My name's Anthony Laurie. I'm running for fire commissioner. I'm a lifelong resident here. I too live on Wallace Street, born and raised on Wallace Street. I've been a member of the Tuckahoe's company since 1973. This February it'll be 49 years that I'm a member there. I've been on the board once before. I served my 5 years. I served it proudly. I served my country proudly. I served my community proudly. My church also, I served proudly. I love this village. I love working for this community. Even though there's no pay in this, that doesn't affect me. There was a woman on the board one time. It's when Mr. Parker was a fire commissioner. He became a town councilman, and the board appointed his wife as to finish his term. So that she was the first woman on that board. That was back in, I think, the late 70s, early 80s. But I do wish everyone comes out and vote. I don't care what part of the town they come from, Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and Bronxville, come out and vote, whether you vote for me or whether you vote for Mrs. Slater. That's a big help. You have to get the people out. In the past, some elections only had 200-300 people, but I'd like to see all people come out and vote. At least they know there's a fire department here, because I remember the last time I was running, I mentioned it, and this room was filled. Some people were saying they lived in this community 20 years. Some said they lived 25 years and never heard of an election. I've been here all my life. I've heard of elections. We used to have them in the old village hall where the elections were held, and it was run all by the volunteer fire department. I've been around a long time. There's another fellow volunteer here. I was in a lot of hot fires. I remember when Columbus Avenue was burning down. Looked like each week, each month, we had a very big fire. We also, as volunteers, were sent out to Yonkers for mutual aid. We spent there some nights, all night there, some hot fires too. We also went to Mount Vernon, very hot fires. And we were assigned to different buildings to go, different firehouses to go, and then called out on their alarms. So I've been around fires. I've been in hot fires. I've been in minor fires. I'm not saying I know it all, but I have quite a bit of experience for the almost 49 years that I've been as a volunteer and was a commissioner for 5 years. So I do hope all of you come out and vote. and I appreciate if I get your vote also. Thank you, and have a happy holiday.
And good luck
Thank
to
you.
both of you.
Good luck.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Sure.
My name is Tom Vishy. I am a volunteer like Anthony. I belong to the Union Corners Engine and Hose Company in Chester Heights. I've been a volunteer for 42 years. When word got out of the election, I got a phone call from a friend who knew that I'm a volunteer. Said Anthony Laurie stole money. I'm here tonight to tell you now and all the people out there in TV land, Anthony Laurie has never stolen a dime of volunteer money. Okay? I also have the check that was written by our treasurer. It has Anthony Laurie's name signed on it because he was president of our association at the time. Our rules state that there are 2 signatures on every check, treasurer, president. He had to sign the check that night. He notified the members at that meeting, November 6th, 2014. So this lie has been going on for 7 years. And every time he looks to run or do something, everybody brings up that he stole money. He stole nothing, okay? In order for our check to be processed, just like yours tonight for the treasurer, the board made a motion to pay the bills of $2 million X number of dollars, and you polled the board. Ours was a motion made by one individual, seconded by a second, highlighted in the minutes, to back Anthony Laurie's position for fire commissioner in 2014. And you could see by a copy of the canceled check that the check was made out by the treasurer, not Anthony Laurie. So this is proof. If you would like to see it,
If I may,
I'd show it to you.
I would just like to thank you for the clarification, because this has been going on for too long, and it's just a shame. So I appreciate you coming out tonight. Thank you.
It got tweeted, Instagram, I don't know, whatever else is out there. It's Facebook and all that other nonsense. But this is true. Now, let me ask you a question. You all approved your bills to be paid. Does the treasurer, the only one that signs it, or do you have the clerk sign it? Do you sign it?
No,
Every
we do not.
mayor?
We do not sign any checks here, the
All right,
board.
how do you pay bills?
The
And
treasurer is
no
not here.
Signature on that?
No.
Why?
Well, we're not going to get into that discussion here. You can make comments, because we could, have a whole discussion about that. But if you'd like to ask those questions, feel free to come in and talk with us, and we can go through it. But the treasurer signs, and then we're audited. So the audits and the village administrator oversees that.
Okay, so then.
Yeah, the board does
way
not.
that he does it is,
And then we view the vouchers and we approve the vouchers. Yeah. There's
what,
No.
he didn't steal anything. So
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to? That's okay. Anyone else want to address the board?
I'm aghast at having gotten up here. I had no idea that this was going to be a time to give an endorsement. I've never seen that before, and I find it very unusual to endorse candidates for the fire board here tonight. So since we have somebody who stood up to endorse a candidate, then I just want to say that I just completely disagree with what Mr. Fishy just said. We have all sorts of facts to back up exactly what he just said. So I just want anyone to know who's listening to this now that what you just heard is not true. And the truth is that taxpayer dollars, my dollars, your dollars, and other people listening to me now have paid for campaigns that Anthony Laurie has run for fire commissioner. Taxpayer dollars have paid for signs on the street and other things that have gone on.
Okay, I'll let one more comment about this, and then I'd like to see if anyone else has anything else before we close the
Mayor,
meeting.
I'd like to know where this man's got that information. No taxpayers' dollars have paid for my signs or my palm cards or anything else. And if he wants to hear the truth, I will bring him to the man who printed the signs, the man who printed my palm cards. Nobody paid for those things out of taxpayers' dollars. I don't know where you got your information, Jeff, but nobody, and I tell you 1,000 times, nobody out of taxpayers' money paid for that. So your lies are lies.
Tony,
Okay.
thank you, we
Thank
appreciate it,
you.
but again, this
Thank you,
isn't
Anthony.
you know.
And no one came up here and endorsed me or Mrs. Slater. I didn't hear. Nobody endorsing me or her. So there's another lie.
Okay. So can I ask you guys if you want to have a conversation to take it out? If you want to address the board, come to the mic. Is there anybody else who would like to address the board on any other issues? Okay, on that note then, we will see you in January. Tuckahoe, have a great, oh, one more person. She remembered something. Just your name and address first.
But at 21 Fairview Avenue in Tuckahoe. I guess, you know, with fire commissioner, my one main question is, where would someone have to go in order to see the minutes to the meetings or, you know, et cetera, to kind of validate the stuff that was just brought up? Like it was apparently from, I guess, 2014. So are those minutes, et cetera, all posted somewhere for public viewing?
Have an answer to that.
Yes, we do.
Eastchester Fire Department
If-
board. I don't know if they go back that far.
Okay.
If you, and correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, you would know, I think you can just Google Eastchester Fire Board, and I think something should come. Oh, yeah, or the town page.
And they have
Town
a
page. Okay.
They have so you can foil anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the fire commission, you can ask questions of the fire chief through the website, and he does get back to you rather quickly, so.
Yeah, and so under the Freedom of Information law, FOIL.
Great.
Mhm,
So
I
that
know.
was the first place to start, is to just look on the site to see if we can find the minutes back to, when was it, 2014, I guess? Was that?
These are minutes not from the Board of Fire Commissioners.
Right.
These
Oh,
are
okay.
minutes from volunteer.
The VOA, the VOA,
And
yeah.
that explains why you have double signature, the volunteer organization.
Exactly.
Okay,
Do it president and treasurer. After it's authorized by the membership to hold the thing. If you like, I can give you the minutes.
okay. So, on that note, January 10th, next meeting, you have something? Sorry.
Gina Lee, 1 Westview Avenue. I just want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Healthy New Year. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and so, and to echo Gina's sentiments, you know, happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, and a happy and healthy New Year. And happy Hanukkah, which we're finishing up. Good night, Tuckahoe.
Good night.